Hello everyone, welcome back to the UKSA's Better Racing League. I am Lewis Edwards and I'll be taking you through this evening's proceedings. We cut rather rapidly into the intro there as we are just about to get underway. It's been a bit delayed today and then we had technical issues when I came to try and get this thing started. F1 decided it needed an 8GB update and so did PlayStation. An update. So I'm afraid we have missed qualifying, but we are looking good to make the start of the race. This is me. These are my socials if you want to drop me a follow or ask any questions. We're going to jump immediately into the game where they are completing the formation lap. So yeah, bit of a rushed intro to the stream, but we have got it all sorted now, and it is going to be CFF who has taken pole position by just about half a tenth from Jackmere, and then Hercus Monti in third, Tibran in fourth, Potro fifth, the highest medium runner, Matiparet's in sixth, Manic is seventh, new to the league, Pat is eighth, Mosin Razai is ninth, Bullet Eater is 10th, Reporters is 11th, and Diego is also making their debut, as Barks has pointed out in the Twitch chat. Welcome to our founder and admin, Barks Littlewood, in the chat. If you have any questions, I'm sure between me and him we can answer them. Got a slightly updated banner at the bottom of the stream. Hope you like it, but we're going to get into some action at Monaco. That's what everybody is here for. And immediately they're away from the grid. It seems to be a pretty even start so far. Hercus Monti looking for the inside of Jackmere. Side by side. They've all made it through cleanly. I think Bullet Eater and Reporters have come together on the first straight. But it is CFF who leads. And him and Hercus Monti have both gone into the wall, going up into Casino Square. This is the predicted strategy. It looks like it's going to be a one-stop and park the bus if your tyres are getting a little bit on the worn side. It's hard to pass at Monaco, as the McLaren of Tibran tried to maybe spring a bit of a move on Jackmere, but didn't quite work out. Maybe he missed his braking point. Let's tell from this angle. So we're going to follow Tibran, as Jackmere has actually disconnected, so that's why he's trying to get round him. Now, if he's lucky, Jackmere's car might ghost at some point, which will enable him to make the move, which means that Potro is sitting in a nice fourth place when they eventually pass the AI car of Jackmere on the medium tyres. So he's looking to go long into the stint, and so is Maniac. And Diego and Reporters are the other medium runners. Tibran has hit the wall! Tibran has hit the wall on the exit, the final corner. Our top man in the championship is round, and he's going to have to wait for everyone. Mosin Razai has gone into the pits. My apologies, that's Hercus Monti. So he maybe lost his front wing up at Casino Square, where we are now with Potro. As Jackmere looks like he's... it's the AI. Jackmere has dropped to last on the leaderboards, so that's a bit of a glitch by the looks of it. So Potro is actually up into second place. It seems to have dropped Jackmere a lap down or something. Seems to have got very confused on the timing screens, so I'm not sure if it's going to count Jackmere as in 12th in the final results here, or in second place, but either way it's looking good for Potro. But it's also looking good for CFF, who has just cleared off from the chaos at the moment. We head through Rascasse. At the end of the second lap, Pat has picked up a penalty from multiple warnings. Oh, so easy to get penalties with these chicanes and corners where it's easy to cut and limits are fine, as I think Bullet Eater has found the wall on the exit of the swimming pool. Didn't see quite what happened there. DRS is enabled, so people are going to be... As Potro is pitted for a new front wing, so I've cursed them nicely. As Pat's got a penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And away Potro goes. It's been a bit chaos at the start of this one, as Tibran's got speeding in the pit lane penalty. So everybody is racking up the penalties, unfortunately, so far. But they'll be serving them at their pit stop, potentially. All of this means that as Potro's now got a penalty as well. So it looks like Jack Mir is second on the road, but has glitched a lap down, potentially. It seems like he's glitched a lap down. He hasn't stopped or had an issue. Just so Barks has put a little fun fact in the chat. CFF has competed in 5 races, and never finished. Can today be the day? Well, it's the hardest track of them all. Yeah, some of the drivers are in Div 1. I'm assuming that's why they're probably making a few mistakes. As we've got Nicholas Boyter in the chat saying CFF is running away. That appears to be the case so far. Although Jack Mir, who's actually been passed now by Maniac, so the AI is not having a great time. CFF is 13 from Italy. Nice. Good job to be going so quickly at that age. Mad respect. In a no assists league as well. Very impressive. I also noticed that when I tuned into the stream with about 6 laps to go, Simo Pez was winning Div 1 by about 48 seconds. So can we see that sort of winning margin? Somebody has had an issue. It's Pat on the entry to the final corner. Potentially getting a bit loose on the entry final corner, but gets going. Not sure whether it was contact with the wall, so might be able to keep on going. Somebody we haven't mentioned at the moment is Mati Peretz, who's just been quietly going about his business. Does appear to be struggling for a bit of downforce, so maybe chipped the front wing. As Pat has retired from the session, we're going to try and figure out what's happened here. Must have been the exit of Casino Square there, I think, has caused that retirement, unfortunately for him. So, yeah, CFF is really running away with it at the moment. It appears with a gap of 13 now, 14 seconds. They've got a yellow in Sector 1. I think that is still for Pat. There's a yellow in Sector 2, but no cars going slowly, so nothing to worry about there. And it looks rather controlled from CFF. We've seen some fairly out of control moments from CFF, unfortunately. But this is looking much more refined, and there's definitely a lot more of a flow to his driving at the moment, which is really good to see. We love seeing our drivers improving race by race. And this has definitely been a standout improvement at the moment, but I don't want to commentate to curse it. Barks has decided he wants to chat curse Maniac, who says Maniac looks decent on his debut. Completely agree. Second place on your debut at the moment is a great way to start. Jack Mir has now DNF'd. So I'm not entirely sure. I think that was the AI has had a bit of an issue for him there. We're going to watch the 2 Aston Martin teammates. Monty shaping for a move on Mohsen Rezai as it gets blocked off by Mohsen Rezai there. Bit of smart defending, seeing that Monty may have had a bit of an overrun and wanted to block him before he got the chance to make a move. But yeah, Monty's definitely looking to get through. You can make a move up the inside of the hairpin, but you've got to commit to it in a big way, and you've got to be right on their rear wing. The best opportunity. Oh, Mohsen Rezai has picked up a penalty. So at the end of the race, ooh, bit of a brake check there by the looks of it from Mohsen Rezai there. Surely Monty is going for the inside now. Yes, he is. Makes the apex and away. He has been released on that medium tyre now. It's his job to hunt down Mati Peretz. And is that CFF? CFF has had a bit of an issue coming down from Casino Square. I'm not entirely sure what's happened there. What kind of pace have they got still? It looks like the front wing might not... Oh, no front wing at all. Trouble for our race leader. So is that going to allow Maniac, who seems to have a full front wing, to pick up the lead of the race? Major drama here. Yeah, CFF is struggling. Just as we said, it was looking so controlled. That's just the way it goes at Monaco. You've got to be very careful not to even brush the walls here. As Diego is going slowly. I think that might have been blue flags, actually. But you can see the time difference is halved. It was about 6 seconds, and now it's 3 seconds. Just in the space of a lap. And that is going to give Maniac the opportunity to lead on his Div 2 debut. That'll be an awesome highlight of the race for him. Can he hold it together and hold off the others? We're actually going to skip back to Potro now. As there's a yellow flag. I think that might just be CFF in the pits, actually. It has gone away now. But Potro is up behind Mohsen Razai now. We saw some solid defending, robust defending from Mohsen Razai. Which meant that Hercus Monti, who was clearly much faster and has pulled considerable amounts of time since making the overtake, it did give him a hard time. So Potro is going to have his work cut out if he wants to get up into 5th position. Got a yellow flag in Sector 2. I think the yellow flag gets set off by people going round the hairpin. If goes on the hards, that's optimistic. I think hard tyres from here and then a set of softs towards the end is probably the strategy he's going for if the hard tyres won't make it to the end. Judging by the fact you said that's optimistic and you did a Div 1 race earlier, I'm going to say the hard tyres might not be able to do that. Diego and Bullet Eater are all on the same strategy there, taking the hard tyres as far into the race as they possibly can. There's a yellow in Sector 3. Oh no, it's CFF again on the hard tyres. This time at the swimming pool chicane. He's got to be very careful not to be disqualified here. And he's retired from the session. Now we watch Potro, who's all over the back of Mohsen Razai, shaping a move for the inside of Turn 1. Not really given much room there by Mohsen Razai, I have to say. He kind of just took the corner like he was... No, and he's put him in the wall. That's not the greatest defensive driving, fairest defensive driving I've seen. As Potro goes for a move, but doesn't get alongside. I think Mohsen Razai is putting up some very robust defending. Might have been a bit over defending into Turn 1 there. I think not giving Potro fair room when he was very much alongside. We've got a yellow, but it doesn't appear to be too much. And if Potro uses some more ERS, he might be able to get up the inside here, do exactly what Hercus Monti did. But he's not made the corner, so he might have to give that place back, I think. I think he should give that place back to Mohsen Razai. A bit like the real life. You can't overtake by cutting the track. He will potentially argue that he committed and made the move by the time he got to the braking zone, and then it doesn't matter, he's going to let him by anyway. Good, sensible racecraft there from Potro to just avoid any kind of steward's argument over that. He's just let him go, and he's going to go again. And I'm just going to keep an eye on the gap between Tibran and Matiparetz, because I'm aware that they're also nose to tail as well. There's yellow in Sector 1, but it looks like there's nothing to worry about. And when we get towards the final stint, we will be looking into the penalty situation as well. At the moment, it's quite similar, but Mohsen Razai has picked up another penalty, and he's in the wall! And he's in the wall! Potro avoids. Can Mathieu Peretz avoid? Yes, Mosin Razai's got going before then. It's not given a gap. And it's actually given a bit more of a gap to Tibran now. And Mosin Razai is now under attack from Mathieu Peretz as Hercus Monti is on the charge now, up into a solid second place on a very similar strategy to those around him at the moment. Had an issue on lap 1. I think that was caused by a bit of contact at Casino Square with the wall. But has recovered well ever since, and Mosin Razai is going to bail for the pit lane. Is this going to give Tibran the opportunity to get past Mathieu Peretz? This is going to be important for the championship. And here we go. He's not going to be close enough to shape for a move from here. I think he's just going to have to follow him so far. Still not quite able to make a move. It is difficult when going around Monaco. Nicholas Boiter has returned. Yeah, CFF had an issue coming out of Casino Square, going down the hill, and then had another issue at the swimming pool chicane and chose to retire the car. Mosin Razai lost out to Hercus Monti, then to Potro, but Potro had a lockup and straight lined the Nouvelle chicane, so gave the place back to Mosin Razai. Ooh, cutting close there from Tibran. And then gave the place back to Mosin Razai, then repassed Mosin Razai when Mosin Razai had a very similar crash to Senna all those years ago. As we've got a yellow, is that for... It's for Mosin Razai. He's had another issue on those hard tyres. I've seen a lot of people having issues with the hard tyres at the moment. I think that is contributing to some of the issues. Also, controller players. It's incredibly difficult to race on a controller with no assist at Monaco. I think that's something, again, I say it most weeks when people have incidents, but yeah, it's incredible how difficult it is sometimes to get around. There seems to be one man who can manage it, and that is Lewis Welsh, PSGL driver, who is incredibly good on a controller. He's the same sort of speed as the best wheel users. He might be missing the extra final tenth or half a tenth. Makes it easier if you change the turning to 240 to 270. Ah, I don't drive on controller myself very often, apart from just trying out, you know, camera settings or something for the stream. I'll just jump in a time trial. For me, I find that 360 works best on a wheel, or 300 seems to be the way that people are going. I'd say if you use TV pod offset, use 360. Try 360 with normal TV pods. Oh, Mosin Razai is in the wall on the exit though. That's going to be some more front wing damage, surely. Going to carry on. We're going to go back to Tibran, who is still in hot pursuit of Mathieu Peretz. But I think Jana Watmir kind of begun this whole try 300 degrees of rotation for TV pod, because that's what he used in F1 Esports. I think he was the first to use it. And a few esports people have begun to copy that. A lot more people are racing in TV pod instead of TV pod offset in this game. I'm not sure why that is, but it just seems to be the way that people are going at the moment. So that's something to bear in mind. If you're looking for camera settings, I would recommend, for TV pod offset, I'd recommend Marcel Kiefer. He runs quite a solid TV pod offset that I actually really like using. I say offset, but they all set it to the middle of the car, not like we have it on the broadcast, which I try to mirror the real life car views as best as you can in the game. It's missing an effect called the fisheye effect, which is something to do with the way the camera is. Oh, clip the wall from Tibran. It's missing the fisheye effect, which is present on the real life broadcast cameras, and the angle doesn't go below -20. Those are the little bits, but you can get them looking very solid for a broadcast, I find. Yeah, if you want to look at TV pod settings, Nicholas Longay and Jarno are two that I would look at if you want to just borrow somebody's settings. But in terms of my personal opinion, just copy as many people as you can, note them down, put them in Notepad or something, just note down as many different people's camera settings as you can and try them all, and then see which bits you like, which bits you don't like. Say you like Jarno's field of view, but you like the placement of Nicholas Longay's camera. Those are the two I mentioned earlier. So you think, I'll combine them, but Jarno's FOV, Longay's placement, but now I've got the FOV a bit different, so just move the horizontal backwards or forwards to match sort of how it looks, and then you begin to build your own sort of camera settings. Or if you just gel perfectly with some, just stick with it. Yeah, Matiparetz is just about pulling away now. I think the tyre advantage is playing a tiny bit of a factor. It's only 6 laps on the mediums. Maybe Tibran might have knocked the front wing a little bit, or Matiparetz has picked up his pace a little bit. Yeah, Hercus is on a mission to hunt down Maniac. I think he has got the potential to win the race, I think. The only thing with that is he's going to have to make an overtake when he gets there. But to be closing at that sort of pace... Whoa! As out of the pits comes Mohsen Rezai. That gave Tibran a shock and a half, I think, as it did us. But luckily, no harm was done there, as you do kind of cut the pit exit line. So when you get a car turning out of the pit lane, even if they're completely within the lines, it always gets a bit scary. I remember I had a moment where I was overtaking... I was on Automobilista 1, overtaking one of the... I think it was just a copy of the 2018 F1 car. I'm not exactly sure what they call it. I think it's the Formula Ultimate. Anyway, so I was overtaking one on the right of them with the DRS, and then another one came out of the pits while I was trying to make the overtake, and then I had to go too wide through the middle of them. And you can see me go sideways through it on the video I took. Yeah, that was a fun moment because it worked out. If it hadn't, I probably wouldn't have recorded it and remembered it now. But Tibran is closing. As the Stream Elements bot has said in the Twitch chat, please feel free to join the Discord. And Mohsen Rezai has picked up another penalty. He's now picked up, I think it's 3 or 4 at the moment. It is very difficult to get it round in the chicanes, where you just need to send it, really. Yeah, Hercus is getting close now. If he gets within a second, then we'll switch over to this battle. Or just when the gap gets less than this one. So I get the impression that Tibran closes, and then he begins to drop back. I think maybe a bit of dirty air is also affecting it. As Potre has picked up a penalty. Yeah, now Hercus is right on the back. Yeah, we are going to see right on cue box with Maniacs. Has Maniac disconnected? Because I think that's a disconnect logo, isn't it? To the left of his name. He might have disconnected from the lead. this could be why Hercus has been able to catch the gap up so much, because the AI is awful around here. And it's set to 40%, so that would explain the massive gap that Hercus has closed down. So poor Maniac on his debut, leading the race, but it's going to be stolen away very shortly by Hercus Monty, probably. As yes, the AI is just not deploying. Yeah, I think that's an AI. Or is it? It looks like an AI. I can't tell for sure, but it looks like it could be an AI. But Nicholas is absolutely right in chat. It's still difficult to overtake, even an AI. As Bullet Eaters picked up another penalty. But we're going to see what they can do. Tibran's still only a second behind. But I think Hercus Monty's best chance is, now he's discovered what the AI will do on the straight if you get a run, is save up the battery. The AI won't make mistakes. There's no point trying to pull out. He can see that he'll have the same logo, so if he knows that it's an AI, then he'll be able to well, that was a big snap of oversteer for him mid-corner there. I think he knows, if he knows it's AI, then he's going to know what to do here. To keep deploying the battery and then go for a move up the inside. Oh, the AI defends nicely. Can you get a better run out of there? Not quite. Can you invite, please? Yes, I can. I don't want to go away from this battle. But then I want to see Maniac in the battle, so I pressed the wrong button. He's oh, he's not in my custom lists. I don't think. Maniac here somewhere? No, he's not. My apologies. Quickly go over to the intermission screen while I deal with this. PlayStation's decided it wants to freeze. Now is not the time. Yeah, I know he's new, so I'm just trying to... There we go. Don't worry, I think I've got it now. I think. Well, we've got a bot that we need to ban on Twitch. Well, so it's all kicking off. Once we're not getting to see any action. Maniac's not appearing still. Okay, Barks, I'll just invite you. Can you sort it out, please? Just need to there we go. I've banned the Twitch bot, and we'll get back into the game's screen again. So we have missed. Unfortunately, Maniac has been passed by Hercus Monty in all of that. But importantly, we might be able to get Maniac back in the race, which would be good to see. I need to figure out how to invite everybody to the lobby all at once as well. That's something I need to figure out for next time I host. That is next week. Now I'm going to watch to see if Tibran can close in. Okay, already joined and done. Happy days. So hopefully he is now back. Yeah, that looks a bit more like an actual player driving. But now Hercus Monty has the lead and Tibran is closing on Mathieu Peretz. He's going to go wide. Keeps it at the wall though. So now we've begun to settle into the race a little bit. I think it's time we have a look towards the strategy. I didn't catch what sort of lap numbers we were getting on tyres in the Div 1 race. I'd imagine the soft tyres are good for 20-25 laps, probably. They are the softest in the Pirelli range at Monaco. But they, even still, they will... Whoa! Bullet Eater and Tibran are out! There's been a massive collision going down from Casino Square. And that is one of our championship leading drivers out of the race. I literally looked over to the Twitch chat for 1 second. And then I look up and I see we have had a big accident there. We'll have to have a look at the replay to determine what... Well, I will, to state my opinion on it. But we've got Nicholas Boyter saying, I think the blame is on Bullet Eater. Now, you're a Div 1 driver who's got a lot of experience. I'm tempted to say you're probably right. As Potro skimmed the wall ever so slightly there. Very lucky to avoid a puncture there. As I know, especially on the last game, if you scrape the wall ever so slightly, then sometimes you get a puncture. I think it was actually my good friend Brendan Lee who discovered that. It was either him or Lucas Blakely, one of the two. My very good friends who are incredibly talented esports drivers. I'm going to skip to whereabouts we are, see if I can find what happened. Oh, yes. Yeah, I think we can agree that that was probably on Bullet Eater. I think he didn't see that. Yeah, I think he didn't see that there were going to be two cars passing him on the left, so probably just cut across Tibran thinking that it was only the car in front that was going through. So that is really unfortunate for Tibran. If I knew how to do like partial capture without... I'm not really sure how studio mode works when it comes to Twitch. You can't edit the scene without switching to it. Because it'd be kind of cool to just get the Twitch. I'll pop it up for a bit of a replay now that the action has died down. So yeah, I'll see if I can just bring up a window capture. So now you'll see this. This is what happened. I don't know if I can put the playback speed. Yes, I can. I can put the playback speed in slow-mo. So we can see Matiparetz and Tibran. Bullet Eater is on the right-hand side there, looking to let Matiparetz pass, and then I don't think he sees Tibran, and then accidentally takes out Tibran, thinking that he could just rejoin to the racing line. So that's very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. And jump back into the race. Didn't miss anything while we were checking through that replay. But that's actually something I think we could work on as a little graphic for some replays, because I can get quite good replays just popping the Twitch stream on. because you can select the stream and watch back through it even while I'm still streaming. If you go onto the channel. And that's in the wall for Potro. That's got to be front wing damage, surely. Well, we've got a Mosin Rizai supporter in chat. That's going to help him in his pursuit of 4th place. Oh yeah, proximity arrows annoy me absolutely no end. I've never really used them recently. Yeah. But I've just generally developed, you know, the awareness to know where other cars are. And I also use look back quite frequently. Oh, into the wall for reporters. Got a bit over enthusiastic with the loud pedal there. You've got quite a few controller players. It's incredibly difficult to drive with a controller. Yeah, I don't know how people do it. Especially for a 100% race at Monaco with no assists. So, yeah, we're going to check in with each driver at the moment to give everybody some coverage. So, Hercus Monti is out front. He's got a big gap to Maniac at the moment. Still on those medium tyres. Yeah, of course we can see the pit stops if you want to have a look at that. Potro has gone for a set of medium tyres. So now we're looking at so I think Hercus Monti might be able to one stop potentially. Ooh, was that in the wall or was that a bit of a lag for Potro? I think it might have been in the wall. There might be another front wing needed. I think there might be some lag issues. I don't think F1 cars normally do that, is all I'm going to say there. But yeah, props to anybody who can do this on a controller. Not something I could do. Diego has left the session. Not the debut he would have wanted. But if he can get a re-invite, then he might be able to join again. If he's just disconnected. So, we're on board Maniac, who is on debut in the Williams outfit, running solidly in 2nd place. Still losing a fair bit of time to Hercus Monti. I think Hercus Monti was just driving beautifully at the moment and has shown in the past that he can hold on to those positions and keep it out of the wall. Got T. Peretz in 3rd, running a quiet race now. His opposition has been dealt with completely accidentally by Bullet Eater, I think. So, looking like we're only going to get 7 finishes. So, a few people are going to get points. It might be 6, depending on if Diego can get back into the session. Oh, people want to see Mosin Rizai. Okay, we will give him some coverage. Currently running in 5th place. We're going to swap it over to the penalty situation. So only a 3-second delta between Mosin Rizai and the others. Diego only has 3. You think 4 will finish the race? Crikey. I hope we get more finishes than that because we're not halfway through the race yet. Don't want to have an empty second half of the race. I believe Maniac might be back. Not totally sure on that one, to be honest. We will we'll investigate. Apparently IndyCar's on at the moment as well. I did not know this. But we can, as he lets the leader through. I can give you an update on that. I think we would be on 5 already with... Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, Diego and Maniac have disconnected. I don't know quite how that works. Yeah, currently in the IndyCar, on the road at least, Colton Herta is winning from Alex Palou, Pato Award, Marcus Ericsson and Simon Pagino. Can't see where Grosjean is. It's not really showing too many people at the moment. They are racing up Laguna Seca. How fun it would be to have some F1 cars at Laguna Seca. We can hope and dream. I'm not sure how they'd take the corkscrew, but if Indy cars can do it, I think an F1 car could. I'll see if we can get an update on Roman Grosjean. He is in 11th place at the moment. Not sure what tyre strategy is like, but he's in a train that goes all the way up to 4th place at the moment. So, plenty of time that could potentially be gained for him. Roman obviously quite big in the esports scene, forming R8G a couple of years ago now, I believe, in the pandemic. And the story he told on the F1 esports broadcast was that he talked to Gunther Steiner, team principal of Haas F1 and community appointed comedian. He talked to Gunther about doing some esports things while he was at Haas, and apparently Gunther doesn't really understand esports too much, but said something along the lines of, "Roman, I trust you. You seem to know much more about this than I do. Go and make it happen." And so R8G was founded and has partnered with the Haas F1 team, which is why you'll see drivers like Samuel Liebert and I can't remember the other one who was signed for Haas as well this season. But they have joined the F1 esports roster. Very good set of drivers alongside Cedric Tomei, who they decided to keep because he's been in all of the F1 esports races and that experience does mean a lot, and he is also very, very fast. It'll be interesting to see the F1 esports kick off in the not too distant future, actually. They're kicking off on the middle of October, so in about a month's time. So we're going to go on board with Potro, who we're going to give some coverage to now as well. So if Maniac won't be classified due to disconnecting, then Potro will inherit 3rd place in the race, which will be nice and promising results for him. Then Mohsen Razai will inherit... Ooh, he's dropped it. But no harm done, there's quite a big gap. Oh, but he's taken it a bit too quickly and got himself another corner cutting penalty. I think that one may get removed by the stewards. I think if he protests that one, that was harsh. But even still, with that mistake, he will potentially be looking at 4th place, which was some solid points for the Aston Martin team. He will be looking very happily at the results screen at the moment. As halfway through the race, they've got a 1st and 5th, but potentially 4th on the cards at the moment. The only thing I will say on the penalties front is after about 30 seconds you get disqualified for halfway through the race, so Racing Reside does need to be careful on the penalties front, not to get too many, because you don't want to get disqualified towards the end of the race after all that. So that's where we stand on penalties at the moment. So we're actually going to... I'm not sure if Diego is actually AI or not. It's a bit hard to tell, but it looks similar to AI. Now we've got Potro and Reporters in the pits. I think Reporters is coming for a new front wing. And Potro has come out with a new set of soft tyres. And Mason Razai is also pitted. I'm not sure if Mason Razai has used the soft tyres. I believe he has. So this would mean he could potentially go to the end of the race from here on the soft tyres. Not quite sure what smoke was happening in the background in the Aston Martin pits as he left. There's quite a lot of smoke going on all the way there. So I think, based on the fact that Hercus Monti has already nearly done the right amount of laps, Reporters, after coming out of the pits, has immediately lost this front wing down at Mirabeau, I believe that corner is called. And we've got the hairpin. Not sure what this corner is called. It's now going to get out of the way of Mitty Peretz. Yeah, I'm not sure what those two corners are called. Just been through. And we got the tunnel. Chicane. To back. Through the swimming pool. Into Rascasse. Anthony Nogues. Down towards the start-finish line. And as Jeff would say, no heroics into Saint-Devote. Hill into Casino Square. I flick it right. Back down Hill. That's a lap with all the corner names that I can remember. So Maniac's pitted. I think this is a person driving and not AI. I think that is actually Maniac driving. I don't think an AI drives the way that the car's driving. Yeah, I think that is the person. So I think Maniac is driving. So probably a two-stop strategy being deployed by Maniac. So one more stop for him to take another set of soft tyres towards the end of the race, and the same for Potro. But now anybody can pit and take on the medium tyres and go to the end of the race on the tyres. However, Mathieu Peretz might be able. Hercus Monti will not be able to go to the medium tyres again. As you do have to take 2 compounds of tyre throughout the race. You have to run 2 compounds, which effectively is the same as saying you have to pit for a different set of tyres. But once you've used at least 2, you can use as many, whatever you want. So if you've got somebody like Potro who's pitted for multiple sets of mediums and softs, then he can use whatever tyres he feels to get to the end, or wants to do 2 stops from here. But Hercus Monti is yet to stop. I'm fairly sure everybody has stopped. Oh, of course, Hercus Monti stopped on the first lap. So he could actually take a set of mediums. Look at that. Quite a fair bit of stops. That'll be for... that's looking... Everybody's made up places. They're all going to be fairly happy with that. We've got Amin in the chat saying invite female players as well. Yeah, we invite anybody, regardless of who they are. If they want to race in the league, they can race in the league. It's really as simple as that. It's a no assists league. So if anybody, no matter who they are, wants to join, we are more than happy for them to join and to be part of the UKSA's Better Racing League. Normally it's just a question of, do you want to race and what is your name? That's basically all the questions that they want to ask. Barks wants to know. And what's your gamer tag, of course, so you can be added into the game. But that's literally all there is to it. We make a point of including absolutely everybody who wants to join. We could have probably whittled it down to 1 division and have quite a few reserves, but we wanted to give everybody the opportunity to race. So hence why we have 2 divisions, and we split the commentary up into 2 broadcasts as well. But that's the thing in the F1 esports as well. They've introduced the women wild card, which I don't know whether I personally agree with that, because it seems like F1 is trying to pull a bit of a publicity stunt, trying to just get some women to be in the series, which is okay. I don't mind that, but it's kind of a bit of a kick in the teeth if they pick drivers that are much slower than the ones that are racing at the top in F1 esports at the moment, which is what they've kind of done at the moment. Because don't get me wrong, I am no esports driver. I'm half a second to a second off the top esports drivers, but the women qualifiers, the wildcards, where they basically just gave them a free chance, me and like a lot of other people were seconds a lap faster. And I think the problem is, it must be really frustrating to be somebody who races in top split PSGL, who races in top split WOR, to then potentially have the chance and lose out to somebody who's been gifted it for free despite not being as quick. I know, that's my personal opinion. I would love to see more women in esports. I think they have definitely got the same potential to be quickest in the world. We just need to find them, and it's... Well, if you look at Sophia Flourish, I think it's fair to say she has a fair bit of money, but you have to buy drives to be in the series that she's in, unless you are exceptionally talented, where you have to be kind of, you know, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen. You have to be that sort of caliber of driver to be given seats that easily. But she's proven to be a very solid racing driver throughout the series that she's raced in, and has rightfully been able to race at Le Mans and done fairly well at it. Races in DTM now and did FIA F3 last year. And I think those are the sort of people we need to promote. Basically, people doing it exactly the same way as their male competitors and doing really well at it. And you've got people like Abby Pulling in British F4, who she's holding her own completely brilliantly against an all-male field apart from her, and she's out there fighting for race wins. That's talent. It's as simple as that, really. Those are the sort of people we want to be promoting, saying, look, these women are great at motorsport. They have the same potential to make it. Let's help them do that. That kind of then enters the W Series debate of, well, W Series has now become an end goal. Yes, Barks Hercus might lap people, but he has got a pit, and he has just now. Is that hard tyres? Oh, I saw go on there. No, it's another set of mediums. So that is going to mean he can go to the end quite comfortably, because he's more than half the race on his previous set of medium tyres. So that's his pit stop sorted for the rest of the race, barring a crash. So he'll be looking to take it easy and keep it out of the wall. Maniac is probably going to have to hit again, I believe. Yeah, I think Maniac will have to pit again. I'm not so sure the soft tyres will last half the race. So probably another set of soft tyres and go for fastest lap towards the end of the race. Although Hercus might try that with a couple of corners or so left to go. Got Matiparetz, who's looking to go to the end. I think that's that's got some potential. I keep saying Mania. I'm such an idiot. Manic. I've been saying Manic all stream. I just kept on, ever since I first saw it, I kept on thinking of the Top Gear film where Jeremy and James drive Peugeots and just go around saying Maniac to every driver that goes past. I just couldn't stop thinking about that. If you've seen that episode, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you'll probably be fairly confused. And yeah, Barks is giving away free tips for controller players by the looks of it. Yellow is just for Motion Eye, who's letting Manic go through. So it seems like lowering the rotation on the controller seems to help as the suggestion, which will, I'm assuming, just make it a bit more sensitive to input so you can get it to turn a bit quicker. Ah, yeah, Barks has put that in the chat now as well. Motion Eye has come into the pits and is looking to take that set of medium tyres all the way to the end. Yeah, the thing with settings on F1, I'd say, is always try it. If you think something's going to be better, try it. I'm not sure. I need to find... If possible, I need Diego's AI to catch... Manic. Because then we'd be able to see the indicator. Yep. Now we'll switch over to Matiparetz, who I'm assuming will catch Manic. looks like he's catching, so I think it might be AI. Might be. It's a bit hard to tell, but we'll see when Matipouretz catches up, which shouldn't be in too long, seeing as he is currently catching at a fair rate of knots. Yeah, as Nicholas Boyter says, the field is very spread out at the minute. That tends to be the case in Div 2. We tend to get great action for the first, quarter to the first 40% of the race, where it just goes manic, and then it begins to calm down as people find a rhythm. A fair few people have DNF'd, and then everybody's in a rhythm and calmed down. So yes, Diego is definitely AI. That's still, yeah. So, I don't think he'll be classified then. And AI will get out of the... Yeah, that's a very AI way to give the place. Rather to let Matipouretz lap. There you go. Yeah, then the end, it does seem to come together quite nicely sometimes. More often than not, to be fair. I think the problem is people DNFing. Because at the moment, we've only got 5 on track, really, if Manic is actually AI. But at least we've now got a time delta between Matipouretz and Manic, so we can see if Matipouretz is catching, and it appears the answer to that is yes. So when he gets there, if he continues to catch at this rate, we'll be able to see if there's an indicator to show whether Manic is connected or not. So then we will know for certain. I'm assuming the answer is going to be no, because I never saw a message saying Manic has joined the session, which you normally see when somebody rejoins. So there's been a lengthy disconnect if you never managed to get back into the session. Yeah, Hercus is running away with it at the moment at the front. And a really good race from him. He's definitely impressed since joining the league, which is really good to see. He appears to be offline. Yeah, that's the thing. I appear offline on anything and everything that I can. Just keeps it quiet sometimes. If it's Steam, it stops. People just don't invite people that are offline on Steam. Bit of a lockup, but gets to the apex quite nicely there for the Matipouretz. But I think normally on PlayStation tend to just be online if you're online. Though I don't speak from experience. The only PlayStation I seem to do at the moment is this league. As most of my stuff gets done on PC. And the gap's definitely coming down. Matipouretz will be there shortly. Hercus Monty sets the fastest lap. As he's actually right behind Matipouretz now. So we're gonna ride with Hercus Monty, as Matipouretz will let him go very shortly, probably down the hill here. Not yet, so he's got to be careful, Matipouretz, to avoid a penalty for ignoring blue flags. I think Manic does have the indicator. He does. Yeah, see, Matipouretz has now got a penalty for ignoring the blue flags. Only now gets out of the way. Yeah, Manic does have the AI indicator, which is the connection bars, but with an X through it. You can see there now. Really unfortunate for Manic, who was looking so good in the lead up until the disconnect. That is unfortunate. Sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And hopefully he'll be able to replicate that pace throughout the rest of the season. As we begin lap 50, we've got 20... Oh, as there's contact between Mathieu Peretz and Manic's AI there. Oh yeah, we've got 28 laps left to go of the race. I think both Potro and Manic are going to need to stop again, but everybody else is going to be able to go to the end. Can Hercus lap the entire field again? He's lapped everybody. Yeah, he's lapped everyone. He's lapped everyone except for Mathieu Peretz and Manic twice. He's lapped Diego 3 times, and he's lapped Reporters 5 times. Mathieu Peretz took the position from Manic off the track, but I think it won't really matter, as Manic wasn't exactly driving when that happened. So Potro has pitted for a set. That looks very much like he just came up the pits, but never mind. So here comes Reporters out of the pits. Yellow in sector 2, that isn't again anything to worry about. There are only 5 running in the race at the moment. So yeah, with there only being 1 pit stop left to make by an AI, we are... So here's how everybody's doing compared to the leader. So it's actually worse than that now. Oh, Reporters collapsed the wall. Yeah, we'll have a look at the pit stops then. Oh. Didn't realise this was a thing. This is everybody's fastest lap. I think that really says enough. That Hercus Monti's fastest lap is just shy of 3 seconds up on anybody else. Yeah, we're going to have a look at the stops by request of Nicholas Boiter. Reporters has stopped 13 times. Diego has stopped 6 times. Motion Reside 4, 6 for Potro. And Manic has stopped again for a 2nd time. 2 for Mathieu Peretz and 2 for Hercus Monti. It's been an expensive day for front wings, I have to say. As Reporters actually clips Manic coming out of the pits there. This is the penalty situation. So yeah, 13 stops and 52 laps is exactly 1 every 4 laps. So well done, Nicholas Boiter, for getting that stat absolutely spot on. Don't curse it, Barks. Don't curse it. Although I am kind of curious how many warnings he's on. So he got... Oh, he's on 2 warnings. Don't speak too soon. But he's running consistently in the mid-14s at the moment. It's been an incredible race from Hercus Monti. And is going to be taking home maximum points by the looks of it so far. All he has to do now is bring home the last 25 laps of the race. It looks like the field's so spread out. The closest gap we have is 23 seconds. So yeah, actually, if Monty Perez is the championship leader, he's only going to be gaining a singular point advantage over him. But he'll be racking up the maximum points, so that'll be a nice confidence boost for him. That'll be 10 points for finishing first. And as Bark says in the chat, no points for fastest lap. We have had that confirmed. So we're going to have a bit of a check-in with Mosin Razai. We haven't for a while. Running in 5th place. Looking a bit more comfortable on the penalty situation now. Not going to affect his finishing position. But more importantly, he's not running as big of a risk as getting disqualified now, which is definitely something him and his fan base, which the streams are going to be happy to hear. Rounds the lows hairpin now. We've got just the one penalty for Mathieu Peretz for ignoring blue flags. We saw that one happen. Not true, that'd be 5 3-second penalties, potentially. Yes, it must be, actually. Mosin Razai, I believe that will be 6 lots of 3-second time penalties. Although I'm not certain, there may have been a pit lane speeding one in there somewhere. Diego's only got the 1 penalty for track limits, and reporters will have 3 for track limits. So yeah, overall this race has taken its toll on our drivers. We lost Jack Muir very early on after a disconnect at the start of the session. I'm not really sure what happened to Jack Muir. I think he may have tired the car. Not too certain on that. We saw Pat fortunately have a bit of a crash. We saw CFF, our pole sitter, the demise of his race. And we saw what happened to Bull Eater and Tibran. That unfortunate collision where he just didn't see Tibran coming. As Reporters has picked up another penalty. That moves him on to 12 seconds now. Just as a recap, you're looking at about 30 seconds for disqualification. So, yeah, even Mosin Razai is looking okay for that. At the moment, in fact, I'm not totally certain you get disqualified on this game for 30 seconds of track limits penalties. But you eventually get a black and white flag that's like a warning of don't get any more incidents or you get disqualified. I think that comes out at around 30 seconds of penalties. That's what we're referencing for that. Might have to do a little bit of testing on that. Go through the tunnel one more time with Mosin Razai. Up the chicane quite nicely. And to back. Swimming pool chicanes. To Raskas. The final corner to begin another lap. He's used a fair bit of his ERS deployment Quite a lot you can use this one. Is that reporters in the wall? Yeah, I think it's just letting him go. But seems to have used a lot of that deployment. There are a lot of exits where that can be useful, but it's also quite easy to charge your battery on this. So my T-Peretz has now picked up another penalty. Just 20 more laps to go. Can they all get home safe and sound to score their points, their teams? Maniac has passed Matty Peretz, who has pitted, I believe. Tyres is Matty Peretz going to be coming out, and is it going to set soft tyres? Yes, it is. Not the strategy I thought Matty Peretz was going to pull, but has his wheel disconnected? What's going on with Matty Peretz here? He's had a major issue there. Very bizarre issue there. I'm not quite sure what's happened there. This could hand some positions to Potro even. Quite the bizarre one, I have to say. Still trying to figure that one out myself. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened for him there. But I'm glad he's managed to survive the wall, just about, and continue on his way. He is going to try and get to the end of the race and bring home the points. But that could potentially be looking to promote Potro, potentially. We'll just have to see how it works in terms of time loss. I think he should rejoin the track in front. It can't really afford too many of those mistakes. Perhaps gingerly comes back to the pit lane. Actually, didn't get to see the DTM today, but for those interested, Lucas Auer won the race in the Mercedes, followed by the championship leader Liam Lawson in second and Marco Wittmann in third. Seems to always be those two up near the front. Here comes Matty Peretz. Looking for another set of the soft tyres, but not letting Potro even unlap himself. So still quite the gap. Maniac won't be classified as he's not been able to rejoin. And neither will Diego. So reporters will be promoted up to 6th place. So it's been quite the eventful race for all involved. I don't think anybody's had a quiet one, shall we say. We've had those struggling. We've had people not struggling. We've had quite the range of races, but I think it's been a tough one to get through for the drivers, for sure. But I think they've really said no way I've been racing this whole time. I'm not really sure who. Wait, Jordan, are you manic in the game? Yeah, Barks is thinking the same thing. Actually, it says Potro's watching the stream. So hi, Potro. I hope you're enjoying your race there. If you've got the commentary on in the background. You'll see Diego's disconnected in front of you. He won't be classified. Mosen Razai is out. Mosen Razai is out. 5th place in the race with a crash at Sandevot. I think he has just dropped it and may have taken a bit too much speed on the entry. That's going to be no points for the Aston Martin driver. So that's going to promote... Potro is going to be up into 4th place. And reporters all will it. Because actually, not sure how that's going to work. Whether Jordan will be classified or not. I think that'll be a big up for debate. Yeah, I think it's the servers aren't quite working yet. I think they need to have a look at changing up the... I'm afraid we can't show what happened because we didn't see it. We've just seen that the car was stopped, and when a car is DNF'd, you can't switch to that car to see what see what's happened. I can imagine he's probably just taken a bit too much speed into the corner and then just clipped the wall with their front left tyre. There's a yellow in sector 3, but I don't think that's an issue. I think reporters might have lost something. Hercus has unfortunately picked up a time penalty, so it was cursed. Last we go. So, Box, can you explain this rule to... So, for them to be classified, do they have to do 90% of the race or something? I think it's FIO's... I did not know that, to be fair. Barks can still drop you an invite. Yeah, don't see why not. You managed to reconnect now, so we are going to get to see Manic driving for the rest of the session, I believe, which is good to see. Not sure how the classification is going to end up, but... I'm not sure you have reconnected. Yeah, Barks, let him finish for pride. It's always good. There is no replay on this. Again, yeah, that's another thing I wish that there was. It's a shame, but hey-ho. That's just another thing we can pray gets added at some point. It's in most sims. So I would like to see a replay of it. We can go... Wait, does Mosen Razai stream his point of view? Because if he does, we can have a look. I can just bring up the Twitch and then have a look. Then we can all have We'll see what happened. Okay, we'll see how many stops Reporters is on. 16 at the moment. Yeah, Potro's typing. Yeah, understeer at T1, yeah. Yeah, understeer at turn 1 is... Yeah, it's a bit like you've committed to the corner, and then sometimes it just doesn't stick if you get the line ever so slightly off, or you get the turning angle wrong. Then, by the time you've committed, there's not much you can do. I remember a very similar accident to probably what's happened. Do you happen to Sergio Sette Camera in F2? I think it was about 2018. Where he just committed to the corner and it just slid wide. And he hit the arm car, and I think he actually fractured his wrist doing it. He now races in the Formula E for the Dragon squad. And he's put in some fairly solid performances in the latest season of Formula E, I believe. So I'm just going to check out if we can find Moson's, if he streams it, we can have a quick look. I'll check the driver streaming links, if anybody's popped their stream in there. But it looks like it's just Div 1 at the moment. The Hercus Monti is streaming his point of view of the race. Interesting thing about Hercus Monti is he races in TV pod offset, but actually with the offset. It's quite a unique point of view, but I mean, you can drive quickly with it. Don't see a problem with it. Reporters don't... Yeah, no, Bucks. The reason he'll have done 24 laps on the tyres is because eventually he'll have run out of tyre sets and will have just had to put on old used tyres for new pit stops, because there's not an option to not change tyres and just to fix the front wing, because you always seem to want to put a new set of tyres on while you're at it. So he's probably done a lot of laps on those tyres and just popped them back on again. Otherwise, yeah, I can see why you'd think it's a bit strange. As Potro got a penalty for something to do with the white line, which is a bit bizarre because that's normally to do with the pit exit. Unless he's come out on 5-lap old tyres, which also might be a possibility. I don't think the rule is you have to change tyres. I think it's always just optimal to usually change tyres in real F1. Oh wait, no, of course it's not. Wait, yeah, is it? You can definitely put used tyres on. I'm just trying to think about that now. Yeah, people will be looking to go for the fastest lap. The optimal time to do it is with 2 laps to go. So you pit, your out lap is the penultimate lap, and on the final lap you set fastest lap. That's the optimal way of doing it. And you save your ERS a few laps in advance if you purely just want the fastest lap. That's the way to go about it. You may also want to click a front wing, potentially. Just the extra bit of downforce, really. So we see reporters letting Potro through. Yeah, unfortunately, the only streaming link I can find is Hercus Monti. Though I think I saw Tibrand's, but I think it was a YouTube link. Ah, Div 2. Okay, let's have a look. Except that it streamed 6 days ago. That's not really helpful, but yeah. You know, Tibran's point of view from today has not been posted. Yeah, I was looking to find it, see if we could find his point of view of what happened. Those instants are from the previous checkout. That's not for us. And Bullet Eater has self-reported in the chat for accidentally causing Tibran a DNF. So yeah, again, good respect from him. It's always good to see when a driver's made a bit of a mess of something. When they just come out and say, "Look, I'm sorry, I made a mess of it." It's simple as that, no excuses. And it's always good sportsmanship to do that as well. So that's something. I think Jack Me is very disappointed about the disconnecting. Which is very understandable. Tell you what, I wish we had cockpit as well. That'd be really good to watch some proper Monaco drive. So we've only got 7 more laps to go now. It really has quietened out ever since the chaos of the first part of the race. Potro goes a little bit wide there in his pursuit of the fastest lap. They're actually going to enable the lap data. Potro hit the wall somewhere. Too bad through there. How's he managed to... I don't think this lap's going to beat it at all. I think there's been mistakes here. Again, we've got Hercus Monty out there in front. Yeah, as the bot in Twitch has mentioned, this is also being streamed on YouTube at the same time, and the full replay will be posted on YouTube. So yeah, you'll be able to rewatch that if you've had a good race. If you focus Monty, you'll probably be wanting to watch the replay of it for a fair while. In the wall for Potro, that'll be some front wing damage, I think. Yeah, that's a front wing gone. And it's definitely gone now. He's going to scamper back to the pits. Opts to stay out. Okay, interesting. Yeah, I agree with you there, Barks. I think you've got to push hard to beat the lap that Hercus Monty has set out for everybody. Fastest lap was the thing. So yeah, 18 stops for reporters. 6 for Diego, 10 for Potro, 4 for Matty Peretz, 2 for Manic and Monty. So yeah, these are the fastest laps. Potro is down to a 16 flat. Yeah. The fastest lap, it's more of like a enjoyment factor, I would argue. Because yeah. Times 18. Now Potro has gone into the pits. It's risky. Yeah, it is a little bit. I can understand why Potro is moving. Oh, he's going to go again. He's only got 9 lap old tyres. Good to see Reporters is going for it as well. On a brand new set of soft tyres. So I think he might have been choosing to go between older, used sets for a while. But the thing is, he's not going to lose any positions from here because he's laps ahead of Reporters. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to beat that lap by Hercus. 13.4. That is, that's pretty quick. 4 finished as predicted. Yeah, it's looking that way. Yeah, if he DNFs, then yeah. I think get around fastest lap DNF. I mean, I tried 1 lap and I think I got a 10 something or a 9 something in TT. Ah, Potro says in the chat, my fingers are done. I don't blame you. I'm guessing you race on a controller then. Based on that. Okay, you've only got 3 laps left to go now, I think. And the quicker Hercus gets on with it. He's lapped Matty Peretz now. So he has now lapped the whole field twice. That is the level that he has been driving at today. I think that's unbelievable. You're down on 1:10.7. Nice. That is a pretty solid lap. Yeah, I can't really remember because I did mine. Oscar is Potro, I'm pretty sure, Barks. I remember the sort of lap times I did on post the performance patch. No, wait, before the performance patch. If I worked out right. I was down on the mid to low 1:08. I think I just about cracked a 7.9 on the last game. But that's when I had my old wheel, which wasn't compatible, so I had interesting rotation issues. Where it wouldn't match up and something like that. I think Simo Pez is an 8.5. World record was a 1:06. It's like a high 1:06. I think it was a 1:06.9 from Lucas Blakely. Was the record towards the start of the game. But the performance patches made everything slower, which I don't think is the way to go about it. I think the issue is not to do with that. I think the tyre grip is a bit too much. I think the problem with this game, I think this is all speculation. Yeah, Bucks, the game's quick on some tracks and slow on others. See, now at Monaco, you can qualify on a 1:11, and I think we were in the 10s in real F1, but pick Zandvoort. Before the patch, everybody was on, like, the quick people were around the 108s in qualifying speed. In F1, around the 108s. And that track was laser scanned. But I don't get it, because then in Portimao, we're all doing 15s. Well, no, not me. But high 15s is now the record. On PC, at least. And I think they were slower than that. I'm not too sure. I think I saw somewhere that they were doing 18s in IRL. So it differs between the tracks, but I think Monaco is... Yeah, get ready for some speculation, because I'm trying to explain why I think the game's not matching the times. I have the feeling that downforce is not modelled very well in this. I say this because I think what they do is add grip to the tyres based on what speed you're going. It's a theory that a couple of other drivers, esports drivers, have mentioned it might be like. We don't know. That we haven't look. You can't look at the game files to find out. But you can put downforce values in. We're going to ignore that debate though. Leave it for another day, because Hercus Monti is going to cross the line to finish the 78 laps of Monaco in first place by a huge 2 laps. Mathieu Peretz is going to come across the line in third place. Potro is going to do a Michael Schumacher from Silverstone that year and finish the race in the pit lane. By the looks of it. It's going to cross the line. Yep, just now. And Reporters is going to be the next driver to cross the line. It only took him 19 pit stops, but he made it to the end. And he's going to take home P4. So that was a brilliant job. Yeah. Manic was disconnected, so Potro is going to be promoted to the podium places. So, to get you your final race rundown. Wait, so Hercus Monti is your winner from Mathieu Peretz, Potro third, Reporters fourth, and I'm afraid that's all that's going to get points, because they are the only ones that finished. It'd be easy if we were doing the WTF1 race rundown. Although actually the names are hard to say quickly. You'd only have 4 names to remember. So a brilliant job from those who managed to get to the end of the race. Very unlucky for Manic, who, had we not mentioned, would have gone to the end of the race on his own screen. Okay, let's go to bed. Thanks, Lewis. Very nice commentary. Good night. It's 1 a.m. here. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you stuck around and enjoyed the stream. Just going to get the race director up quickly and just run through that. You can put this in quarter speed. If you need to look at anything in particular. It's just a shame we never got to use some of the graphics that I made at the start. But this is a newer one. And that's going to be it for today's proceedings. I will let you know very shortly what we can expect in a week's time. I can tell you right now, on September the 26th, at the usual time, we will head to Italy, to Monza, for the usual 18-minute qualifying and a 100% race. And then for round 8, we will have Azerbaijan for a reverse grid 3 times 25% elimination race. that one is one to look out for. That's going to be an interesting format. I believe we tried that sort of format in Japan last year, so the success of that has prompted us to go for another try at that. And then to finish it off, it's going to be Suzuka reverse grid in championship order. It's going to be 200%. So obviously that'd be 2 100% races, and then we just copy the grid from the final standings of the first race, and then I think just start it again halfway, then you'll be at the end. So that is what we have in store for you next weekend. It'll be the same time again. Stay tuned from 5 o'clock British summertime for Division 1, and it should be back to the usual 7 o'clock in the evening British time for Division 2. I've been Lewis Edwards. I hope you have enjoyed tonight's proceedings, and I hope to see you all next weekend. Goodbye for now.